Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to BBallBreakdown. If you're finishing up your off-season workout, check out Boing Vert and their video jumping series because it'll improve your explosiveness and your jumping ability. Very key to being a good basketball player. So check it out on the link on the screen or down below in the description. Well, now let's talk about France versus Spain. A lot of NBA players, terrific game out there, went into overtime, and you'll see how important coaching really is. Spain's coach is terrific, has them doing terrific, clever stuff on both sides of the ball. So watch what they're doing. I show a couple things on defense which are neat, but really it's a terrific defense they have there and clever offense. My favorite player is Sergio Rodriguez, and my second favorite player is Sergio Yui. And I'm going to say it Yui, not Yule, because I'm convinced that's the right way to say it. So here's what I saw. Here's the breakdown of that semifinal game and how Spain got to the Olympics in Rio next year. Let's start out by looking at Tony Parker, who struggled mightily in this game and might have some Spurs fans extremely nervous because he could not get to the basket and create a shot on many of his possessions. And he had some costly turnovers as well, which makes you wonder if his legs will hold up under the intense pressure of an NBA season. In the second half, he gets right to the hoop for his patented off-foot layup, but just blows it without getting good elevation. And just watch how hard Parker has to work trying to make something happen, but he just can't turn the corner like he used to and is forced to kick the ball out. On this shot, watch how smart Pau is to legally knock the ball off the rim once the shot hit it. Spain is extremely well coached on both sides of the floor, and this is some of the best team defense you'll see in this tournament as France can get nothing going. However, the French built an early lead on a house of cards, as shots like these could not be replicated in crunch time. The most intriguing matchup was between Pau Gasol and Rudy Gobert, and with Gobert's bad hands and lack of touch around the rim, let's just say he had no chance against Gasol on offense. The French thought they'd have an advantage with Gobert guarding Gasol, but those ideas disappeared quickly. Spain runs a simple pin down with Pau to get him low post position. Gobert relies on his armbar in the back way too much. A simple spin move leaves Gobert off balance, and Pau gets his long arms up into the shot before Rudy is ready to challenge. And again, Gobert has trouble maintaining his balance while also keeping Pau out of the lane. His chest gets too far in front of his legs, and Pau can turn over his left shoulder and hook the ball in cleanly. Notice how the French never sent a double team over to help Gobert, and this was a mistake. With Yui and Rudy Fernandez shooting horribly from the three-point line, they should have doubled off of one of them and dared them to hit a three. On this possession, Gobert did a great job to force Pau way out to the three-point line before catching the ball, but then he foolishly reaches in for a steal, and Pau can go to work. Gobert again reaches in and gives Gasol free throws. Gobert got into foul trouble, and it was hard to imagine how this was anywhere near a foul as he expertly cuts off Pau's spin move, but the refs made a horrible call anyway. It wasn't just Gobert, as Laverne gets a very cheap foul with minimal contact down low. Gobert is still a force on the defensive end, and watch how they use the inbounder to set a double back screen on Gobert, shielding him from the basket as Sergio Rodriguez makes the perfect backdoor cut and gets to an unprotected hoop for a layup. Spain used a zone to stagnate the French offense, and you can see it worked great as the French didn't seem to know how to attack it. But with this ridiculous step back three by DeColo, they take a big 9-point lead midway through the fourth. Of course, Spain goes to work with Pau down low. First, notice how easy it would have been to double down off of Rudy Fernandez, but instead, on the up and under, Gobert mistakenly brings his arm down, hammering down on Pau's right arm and giving him 2 free throws. And late in the game, with France in great position, Diaw makes a very bad decision to pass to his big man on the fast break at the free throw line. It's an easy step up to take a charge, and more importantly, forced Gobert to the bench with his 4th foul. Later on, watch how Spain starts in a 2-3 zone, then after the first pass, they switch to a man-to-man. This bit of genius blows up France's offense, and they're left to burp up a bad 3 with no time on the shot clock. With Gobert out in foul trouble, France goes tiny, leaving Batum to guard Gasol. Even with their lead, this was a mistake. France does okay up until the point Petrus decides to go for the shot fake from 3. He should have said hallelujah that Pau wanted to shoot from that distance. Instead, it allows Pau the highlight of the night with his awesome drive and finish. France counters by bringing Gobert back in, who sets a nice little pin down on the left side, which flows into a flare for Batum on the right, but it's very well defended by Spain. However, Gobert uses his quickness to track down the miss, but his footwork is clumsy as he should have dribbled once, stepped with his left foot to seal Pau on his back. Instead, he shoots some sort of half finger roll, half hook, and Pau dismisses it rudely. Their lead all but gone, France again allows Pau to isolate on Gobert, even though both Yui and Rudy are shooting poorly, and Pau does it with an old school running hook. Again clinging to a 1-point lead, and again they could have doubled off of 2 of Spain's poor shooting 3-point shooters. Pau sneaks a travel in when he shifts his pivot foot, but still hits a nice fadeaway from deep in the lane. Having lost the lead, France crumbles a bit with 2 terrible shots in a row. First, with 13 seconds on the clock, Tony Parker tries to pull up off the dribble from 3, not his game, but when they track down the rebound, France gets a mismatch with Reyes on Batum. I get it, you want to exploit it, but this isn't really Batum's game either, and he ends up with a contested step-back jumper from 15 that doesn't go in. The refs get back in the game with this possession as Nando De Colo attacks the hoop and Reyes steps into him, then flops backwards. You can always tell a flop when the defender falls in a completely different direction than where the offensive player was moving towards. It's no secret that Sergio Rodriguez is my favorite Spanish player, and he was almost as important as Pau last night. They finally ran somebody at Pau while he shot and it forced a miss. However, Batum foolishly taps the ball out instead of trying to grab it. These kind of decisions just kill your defense. Now they give Fernandez a chance at a pick and roll. France's pick and roll defense was confused all night as Batum ices it by forcing Rodriguez away from the screen. Gobert should have been in between Rodriguez and the hoop. Instead, he tried to hedge, and they give Rodriguez a free lane to the hoop. Down 3, many teams would go for a quick 2, then foul. However, France went for broke with a little screen to the left corner, and watch how Batum uses the hop to get this shot off quick and on balance. It was way too early for Spain to try and foul up by 3, they want less possessions, so you have to tip your beret to the French. Gobert picked up his defense again on this possession, forcing the catch way out to the 3-point line. However, he does get away with some contact as Pau comes down the lane. But apparently FIBA refs are like NBA refs. They rightfully let the players decide the game, and Gobert saves it with this great block, and the game goes to overtime. Again, France screws up their pick and roll coverage as Gobert hedges while Parker was icing. These are layups they're giving up. France runs a gorgeous out of bounds play. Watch how they pitch back to Parker coming in bounds, then ball screen him, while the first basket cutter sets a back screen for Diaw. Diaw is open for several seconds until Parker hits him for the reverse. Nice. With a tie game, the refs totally miss the illegal screen by Pau. His feet are too wide and he slides into De Colo, but instead they call it on De Colo and give Spain 2 free throws for nothing. However, the refs come right back down and call an equally bad foul on Spain, giving France 2 free throws right back. And this was the moment I felt France was going to win the game. Gobert does a great job taking away Gasol's post position and fighting through screens. He stays with it and blocks Pau's shot, and he's off to the races, beating everybody down the court for the nice pass and the finish, giving France the 2-point lead. Again, Gobert forces Gasol out to 15 feet with good defensive position. While it's way late, Batum finally comes over and bothers Gasol into a miss. But Gobert needs to grab this rebound. Instead, he tips it out, and when you give Spain a second chance, you're usually going to give up a score. However, France stays very tough, contains Sergio Rodriguez, then contains Sergio Yui, and finally fights through it to get the rebound. Diaw can only split the pair of free throws, and this proves crucial. Spain comes down and runs their motion offense. You can see they're trying to attack Gobert and his 4 fouls, and Gobert's footwork isn't good on this closeout as he takes one too many steps with too much weight on his left foot. It allows Pau to get to the hoop, initiate some contact, and force the ref to give him the foul. If he would stop swiping at the ball and focus on keeping those long arms up, he'd avoid a few of these fouls. Still up 1, France runs a nice curl for Batum, and it's unclear, but it looks like Laverne just fumbles this pass, giving Spain the ball back. And Batum needed to sprint back harder to get in front of Yui. Instead, Laverne is forced to step over to help, and Yui finds Pau with a nice pass and the lead. Parker continued his struggles with an opening to his right, but watch how he travels by lifting up his pivot foot. Then the nice block by Rudy to take the ball away. Without Gobert in there, France is clearly giving up their edge in defensive rebounding, and on the baseline drive, they get the miss, but Laverne cannot keep his balance as Gasol steps over and gets the easy putback. Again, when you're up 3 with 18 seconds left, it's too early to take the foul, and Clavera really screws the pooch when he doesn't wrap up Batum on the catch. Then he makes matters worse by continuing to foul as Batum gets the shot. This leads to what should have been the game-tying free throws. Instead, Batum misses the first 2, tries to miss the third on purpose, and they can't foul Spain to stop the clock. The clock ends up winding down, Pau gets the final basket, and Spain gets the automatic bid to the Olympics in Rio next year.